Okay, now we have Amanda Ronson, who is here in Tel Aviv. She's a dear, dear, dear personal friend of mine. I've done a lot of work with her personally as well. She is from London. She's a renowned consciousness development teacher, energy master, spiritual healer. Her company is called Alchemy Healing, and she treats people around the world, not just in person, but around the world through just as all of you do. But her work is also something very unique, and I want to get into what Mordechai was saying about the Merkaba. Amanda does very deep, purifying, guided meditations having to do with the Merkaba. So the Merkaba is something very pivotal in Amanda's work on a personal level as well. And she is someone who is, I call her, she's an oracle. She channels, she is able to work with guides, and she works a lot with the big picture of energies, dark and light, and helping metaphysically and alchemically to kind of rid whatever residual negative entities may be, connected as we're going through this process, to kind of rid our body of this and, to elevate into our own maximum potential as well. And she's just, she's my guru when I have questions about the light and the dark. So take it away.
Thank you, Emily. And guys, that really was interesting what you all said, and it was really, you all spoke amazingly, and I felt that it was so clear, so it was really easy to follow, and it gave me a really much easier time now because you've covered it from each angle, so that leaves me just the little tie-ups, I think. So I feel that when you're going to be listening to all this, everyone's going to say, okay, so how do I keep strong? How do I keep the stress out? How am I going to keep that? So alchemy healing is all about integrated consciousness, and it's very practical, and it's about transmuting those negative and those negative energies and going into your shadow self. So we can keep going into a meditation and be calm, but as soon as we leave the meditation, we're not going to stay so calm. So, hopefully longer than other times. But, when you really, really have had it for a prolonged period of time, Emily was saying before that, people weren't really calm. It was hard to stay calm at this time. But when you've done this level of work and you've gone through your shadow self, you have an ability to stay in the calm. And I call it being the inner inside of the tornado. There's the storms going around you, and you're able to be totally in that peaceful place. Okay, but this is not so easy to get to, and is the process that I feel Shifra is talking about. It's about going through all the things within self to bring yourself fully into the light. So that's simple if you go through your shadow. So you can go to a place and you can meditate and you can align yourself, but we need to go a little further than that at this time to really have sustainable change. So sustainable change comes from going within, right, Shifra said, but it's about staying there. Okay, so when I go inside, I want to hear, okay, just like Dana was saying as well, she was saying, I hear it, I'm going to the pain, I'm just with it, I remove it, but again, the pain may come back, because though it wants to be heard, there's a reason that pain's coming. So when energy gets blocked, it causes dis-ease. So all we need to do is put light on that story that is coming forward, and we can rid the body of all diseases. So emotional disorders, physical disorders, all different things that are happening to you. It's just more manifest if it's in the physical. So if I've got a bad arm, I go into the arm pain. If I go in, I'm really sad, I go into the sadness. So you can all ask, how do you do that? Okay, because that's something we need to know how to do it. We need to be practical here, because we're all sitting in a lot of stress, and that's going to jump back to what Mordechai said. Like, if we want to have our immune system and we want it to be working and we're in stress, well, however much you take of your silver colloidal or your different mushrooms or your different things, your zinc, your vitamin C, we're going to have a problem again. So what we have to do is we need to be getting rid of all that stress and strain. So that comes into what I'm saying now about the darkness. So all stress, guilt, pain, fear, anger, all of them are the negative. That is the darkness we're talking about. Okay, we all have it within, and we have our personal darkness. That's ours, and obviously there's stuff out in the world which is the outer dark, but we're looking at within for the moment, and we have to go inside it. So when you work in alchemy healing, each time we're going to say it's like we take over the clipot, we take over the layers to take them out so we can eventually get into the soul, into the source light. But we have to go through all the different behaviors that are coming up. So we have to step into each of these behaviors and wonder why they're coming. So if we have this terrible depression, the root of the depression is anger, suppressed anger that you feel that you shouldn't have. Okay, sadness, anxiety is sadness that we've never dealt with. So all these things are coming up, but we don't need to let that define us. We have to go inside it so we can remove it from our system so it no longer traps us in the emotional body. We do not need to be victims of our emotional body, and quite the opposite. When we move into higher consciousness, we move from victim consciousness into creative consciousness, and that's the oneness. So what I look at is I'd be looking at what's underneath that story. So how we do it is we go into the emotion that's sitting there. Okay, we'll do it as an emotion, because if we do it physically, we just need to, when you go into the physical pain, you can just say, well, what's that feeling? And then you get to the emotion. So we start off on the emotion, and then, I mean, we can go from the physical over to the emotion, and then we're going to go inside what's sitting there. So first of all, I would be doing that beautiful Merkaba meditation, which teaches you to be strong, which teaches you what it feels like to be protected, which shows you that feeling of alignment, because we don't know what we don't know. So we have to feel the alignment to resonate with it, to know, so we can stay there. Okay, but also we have to change our cellular memories, flip them to the new way, so we can stay in that new place for a prolonged period of time. So after we go through the meditation and move into our alignment and feel all of that, then the work begins, because now we got to like let it rise. So our body holds consciousness, our mind is consciousness, and our body holds consciousness. So we just need to speak to it, and it will reveal itself to us. So just by saying, okay, if I'm sitting and I'm trapped in fear, many people trapped in fear, we ask that consciousness, what was the first time I felt that fear? And then you'll get a vision to see what was the first time you felt that fear in this lifetime. We don't want to get complicated, moving into past lives at this time, but in this lifetime, what was the first thing that gave me that fear? And when we approach it and we bring that story to the light, and we see it for what it really is, because you see that, you know, we're trapped in like visions of how we perceive our parents, how we perceived our school teachers, how we perceive society, and we get rid of all that trapping, because you realize that that wasn't really the fear that you needed to have that level of fearful. We remove it. Okay, we get to the source of it and it removes itself, and then the light comes into that spot. Then we reset the body, showing what it looks like without having that behavior. So we just need to take away each of our behaviors. Okay, it doesn't mean we lose who we really are, because you're just going to be a shiny diamond afterwards. But it's like you release each of those layers of your person, so that that's how you move into unity consciousness and the oneness, because then you have the light unto yourself. You know yourself, you are connected to the source of yourself, and then you give out the light. And the one good thing is, when you start vibrating on that frequency, everyone next to you changes. They just alter, because you're no longer playing the games or being reactive to the triggers that used to once be. So when you're in that level of calm, all that surrounds you is calm. And we can have a great effect then on our children, on our families, and we can just, that creates the change. Because I used to say always, I wanted to make a change in the world. I wanted to go into politics, make the world a better place. But really, then I discovered that the change is within me. And when I move into that calm, then all the world starts shifting that goes around me. So I felt very good about that. I'm just checking if there was anything else to add.
I want to say something. I can say something based on what you were saying, Amanda, because Amanda's work also involves, like, because, you know, with the body work and working with the Merkaba and like golden liquid light, like she like the way that even she guides her process is kind of envisioning something physically going through the body, you know, and, you know, gold obviously, you know, alchemically, you know, can do a lot, and even more is being discovered even on a you know, remedy level, and, you know, on plant-based level.
Find source and inward, because that's how it works. There's only one God.
So we have a question over here from Rachel, and she says, how do you know you've gone back far enough in our lives?
You'll know. Well, first of all, I've given a gift of a meditation. That was one just to bring you into a lovely vibration and to help you stay there. But I have another one, which you just need to go into Alchemy Healing, which you can get, is an emotional healing meditation, that when you're inside it, your subconscious will take you there. All right. Eventually, we don't, I'm talking about only the basis of the treatments with me. Eventually, I would be teaching everyone how to just get the visions from the other side, and you can start having visions in parables and start learning things that are very important. Once you've started removing all of those layers of yourself, you can also elevate your soul through greater worldlier understandings by getting visions through the same format. But what I wanted to just reiterate is people are basically stuck in this animal consciousness where they're just reacting to all the events that are going around them. And the key thing is to move to this awareness state, to be in the light, to see, to not react to the dark, like Mordecai was saying, or the things that were coming up, not just to be reactive to it. I'm going to react to it. No, just be seeing it for what it really is and regrounding yourself in the process. You have to do that bit of work. Yes, you need to be always positive and think positively, but you also have to be what you're, that awareness. So I just want to continue that and be in your truth. Truth, awareness, light, it's all the same words. Love, same words. So but I wanted to reiterate, your emotions are your guiding tools. So we're not going to say ignore your emotions, not going to ignore your fear or your anxiety. They are your guiding points. They are there to bring you to the light, and you should be facing your fears and facing these anxieties, just like Julian was saying. But there is good when you have a negative emotion of the fear, the guilt, the pain, the anxiety, it's a positive emotion. Okay, that first part is good. It's exactly like I said, it's going to make you do that. It's going to start the energy. It's the activator. So you want to be in that part, but what you don't want to do is fall to the negative of it, when you fall into the anxiety, you fall into the emotion of it, because it's going to pull you down and you are just going to be sucked into it. You just need to be recognizing it, seeing it, bringing the light, bringing the truth to it, bringing the awareness to it of why it's coming up, what it truly is, so that it will just energetically move through. So you're not fighting a flow, you're going with your energetic flow. So you don't have to, of course, the first is to surrender, but you have to be with it, and then it just activates you and flows, So I just wanted to say that one more time. About moving effortlessly, I've said, but the other thing that activates energy or activates consciousness is the questioning. Always question everything. Okay, not just everything you're being told, take for granted. Use your mind, everybody. Start thinking. And when you're just told these things, don't follow blind. And as I say to all my students, I don't want you to know just because I've said it. It's the da'at, not your dad, da'at. Be inside it, have the knowing, really know. Don't just because it doesn't resonate you and you're told things. Listen to that inner knowing always. Ask questions, listen to the inner knowing, put things out to the universe, and it's going to show itself to you. You're ready to see a teacher, teacher's going to come. You're ready to do a course, it's going to appear for you. Just be in your own awareness, and you're going to put those ideas out, and they're going to come to you, and they'll always appear wherever they're supposed to come in, because Hashem's listening to you. There is a listening part on the other side, and that will come. Also, really, because I'm finishing this one off of saying anything, but it's also about feeling good. And feeling good in life sometimes is just doing some good. Okay, simply doing some good. So while you're sitting at home and everybody's like going their fears, or having some self-awareness moments, okay, fine, but at the same time, help your neighbor. If we can serve the food and we can deliver, we've got delivery things going on at the moment, or take an active role in anything. Yes, you guys, we're all speaking and that's our active role, but we must include that. We must all be working together and doing something to help. My daughter, she just baked some cookies and delivered them across the building. I don't know, but everyone's doing something. So I really feel that we should do that. We're actively involved in something called coronacare.zone, which is finding suppliers and getting products sent over to hospitals across the world. So, you know, and that is connected to the people that did Israel Aid and Smart Aid and Unity Earth. They've joined together and they're doing this across the world using all their skills and connections. So that went live today. So for everyone to connect to that, if you can, it'll be on something, we'll put that out there. And the nicest news I had today that I just want to end on a really positive note was, for the first time, the BBC, which is the most anti-Israel, right, they just done, and this was this evening, a prayer which was multi-faith. They had them there in Jerusalem. They just did it, you know, live. It was about an hour ago. It was during we were doing this. It was live on BBC, a prayer from Jerusalem from the three religions all together. And I just wanted to share that because, look, we are coming in together. We are moving to a unity consciousness, oneness. We are moving into redemption, and we are going to make it through this. And it's going to be not the same when we get to the other side of this, but we're going to move over to, please God, a beautiful world. I just want to add something here that just to be aware of at this time, that we haven't mentioned it, I just want to add it to this. It's a time of accelerated awakening. You can all understand everything we're saying today. But at the same time of the accelerated awakening and all of our fears coming up and all of our darkness within ourselves coming up that we're all working through and should be working so we can bring ourselves to the redemption, to the Geulah. This is also a time where the darkness in the land is coming up too. So everyone should just brace, hold the space, okay? Understand there's a lot of darkness that was existing across in many, many things, in field, in government, in so many different areas, and that's all coming up to be cleared for this new earth time. So don't be panicked, don't be worried about it. The ones that know, okay? This is a time that all of this is coming to the surface, which is good, okay? So though it can be scary for people, what they're gonna see, be finding and be seeing and all the things that are gonna be coming up in the next few weeks, brace, remember to be the you know, the calm inside the storm with your strength. Try and deal with your anxieties, understand this is what it takes. We've got to go through this in order to get to the other side.
Amanda, actually, I want to say something because you say a lot in your work also about when we're talking about light and dark, and you were saying this because, yeah, I think everyone could attest, and you know, it's even in the cosmos for those of us that kind of, you know, pay attention to all of the esoteric components of mysticism as well. But, you know, there are things that are coming up to be cleared. Small karma is the, you know, a mean message or something that is a tone that you're not used to. If you could explain a little bit more, is that part of the process of diffusing dark energies? Is that they're all like moths on a light that are like zapping around?
They're coming up as triggers for you to remove them. So they're coming up inside you, because that's, if you're talking about your personal ones, they're deliberately coming up, especially for the healers. I mean, you know, they've done lots of work. Suddenly you're going to be triggered and you're going to be like, why am I triggered? I've removed all my triggers, but hey. You think you know, but you don't know. So you're going to see it all coming up. And that's, again, it's test, it's to come to clear so that we can get rid of it all. Okay, so we can remain in the calm. So even us that know we have to be in the light, we have to be in an awakened state, we mustn't be reacting, you know, we can, for the sensitive people, they are being a little affected right now, to say the least. But again, remember this is part of it. Keep looking above the situation, seeing what it is, allowing it to leave you, to be removed, understanding a lot more is going to come up. But remember, we have to stay stable as a table. That's what I say.